I was born in 1972. That might not mean much to you, and it don't really mean much to a lot of people, but that's kind of a spot where I got to see something up close. I'm not the first, but I am among that first generation that was never segregated in America in the South. Integration had already happened, even though we got to feel some of the fallout of integration at that time. But this video is not about race, but what it is like a bridge video. I was able to see something that I no longer can see. I was able to see something that probably was normal before integration happened. And that was where Black communities had respectable people and respectable communities, even though we were poor. Now, before we go into this talking about respect, I want to define respect, and we'll look in the dictionary. And the first one was, it's a noun, and it says it's a feeling of deep admiration for someone or something elicited by their abilities, qualities, or achievements. Then the second one says, due regard, this regard is due to them, due regard for the feelings, wishes, rights, or traditions of others. In other words, where I would be respectful to somebody else's their feelings or their wishes. And that was a noun. But then they had the verb part was to admire. So respect could be a verb as well as it's a noun. The noun is what it is, but the verb would be how you do it. You can respect someone, admire someone or something deeply as a result of their abilities, qualities, or achievements. When I was a young kid, I really looked up to Magic Johnson. If Magic Johnson would have said, hey, boy, come wash my car, I'd be like, yes, sir. I would have washed his car. He could have told me that there was blue cheese on the moon. I would have believed it because I really admired Magic Johnson. Got to be a teenager, and I admired John Elway the same way. He was my favorite quarterback. I liked him so much that I just pay attention to things they say and things they do, and I looked up to him. But I can remember just growing up as a kid in the 70s and in the 80s. I remember definitely in the 70s, I was very small, I was young. But I remember seeing stuff that it had to be remnants of before integration really took hold here in Alabama for sure, because that's where I'm from. We had certain people that were respected. They were well respected. I'm sure they had more people, but these are the people I observed with my own eyes that people had respect, that had a lot of respect. Now, we even had some respectable communities, Black communities. It wasn't that all the Black communities were trying to compete to see who were the worst. I'm from the worst hood. I'm from this hood. That's what everybody do now. They trying to one up each other on who lives in the worst slum, the worst crime. But it wasn't like that. When I was smaller, I didn't see that. We had some decent communities. And I'm not talking about for just the poor people. I'm talking about my grandmother lived in a nice neighborhood, and we was around people that were professionals. And I didn't grow up in there, but my great grandmother did. So I saw it. But the people that were respected back then were people like the preacher. A preacher he was revered, he was respected. Not only did the people respect him, he appeared to carry himself with a level of respect. You had a teacher. A teacher in the Black community was somebody. And if you can make it as a principal of a school, you definitely was somebody. In my eyesight, a principal was like this super authority figure. They had people that owned grocery stores. They were butchers and other things like that. I saw those people, And we go there, and I almost call some names. I won't do it, Mister So and So, and blah blah blah. Those people were respected in the community. Everybody knew those people. Uh, you had this is my favorite, a barber. Oh, the barber shop was amazing. Man, those old men, when they was older than me when I was young, can cut hair. Man, I used to just really love the way they would shave people. They used those razor blades. I get my hair cut. I used to run. I never want a haircut. They had to give me a cookie to get me to get a haircut. I'd cry and run. But I did notice in the barber shop that it was a respectable place. Uh, and as I got older, it still was a respectable place, but I could see where men might be talking a little slick with each other, barbershop talk. And if a woman came in, they would clear it up a little bit because they had respect for the women. And the barbershop was a safe place. You didn't have to worry about, something happening to you in there. You get your hair cut. And all types of business owners, whether even if it was a nightclub, if the people carried themselves with a certain level of respect, they were respected in the community. They respected themselves, and they also were respected in the community. But that's changed today. Today, a preacher, no one respects a preacher. Some of it may be the preacher's fault. Some of these preachers' fault. Let me put it like that. But I'm sure a lot of those preachers back then weren't perfect, and all of them didn't have a good reputation. But the position of the preacher was respected because I think people feared God and people respected the man of God. A teacher was respected. A teacher could command, control, and respect in a classroom. And a principal for definite sure, he ran the school. I had a couple of good principals. I could name, I don't want to name any names. I had a female principal when I was in the 6th grade. I can still remember her like yesterday, ran a great school. And I remember my middle school, junior high school principal. Man, he was one of my favorite principals I can remember. And I can remember my high school principals. And all of those people had a great level of respect and authority. They ran it well, and they cared about the students, even the bad kids. They cared about them, and we respected those people. Uh, and these people's stores, I don't think people don't even run stores well. A lot of us don't really own a lot of stores. If we do, it's going to be something just thrown together. People don't have a lot of, we didn't have a lot of money as a community, as Black people, like we probably do today. But we had a lot more respect and a lot more style to us. And we cared about what it looked like and what we did. We did it to our best ability. But not now. People want to do the least. They call themselves have a business, a scam, and stuff like that. They would do the least trying to get the most. And people would do as much as they can because they knew they were serving their own community. But people don't respect business now. They're just trying to see what they can get and give the least. But today, the people that they respect, the people that they admire, are none of those people. They respect the rapper. And some of them don't even respect the rapper. Some of them, they call them ops. They want to kill each other. They respect the hustler, the gambler, the gang member. This is what we respect now. The drug dealer. We even respect the drug addicts today. The rappers and all our celebrities, they own, a lot of these guys on drugs, and the people know it. They make songs about the drugs. They take them, and we think these people are cool. And I'm not talking about just we, I'm talking about this generation. The respect that Black people had in their communities seemed to be fading away. They respect the thug, and they also respect the prisoner. You ain't real if you ain't done time. You don't know nothing. So everybody trying to say all of the wrong things, a baby daddy, because a real daddy was somebody back in the day. A father is not that important. Women rule their whole houses because they have, a lot of these women I'm talking about have government assistance. They don't need a man. They don't need a man. The man can't tell them what to do. They have authority over the children. You got men can't even tell their own children what to do over the mama. A father is not even respected. A Black father is not even respected. But we shouldn't just want to be here. And I don't want to leave us today with just a bad report. What I want to say is, because I can remember those type of people, I intend to be a light. I intend to be a respectable person. I carry myself with respect. I want to be respectable, and I want to respect others. And I intend to do that in this generation here, because some of those same people, when they grow up, if they live past this time, they will see what I saw. Someone of respect. So I challenge everyone who's listening today to if you're not that person, become a respectable person. Become someone that can be admired. And I ain't talking about being admired for the wrong thing while you're young. See, because I even hear old people my age still quoting Tupac. And if Tupac was alive, Tupac died when he was 25 years old. If Tupac was still alive today, he'd probably tell his young 25-year-old self something totally different that will probably save his life. So what I'm saying is, we don't want to be a part of the disrespectable people of this time. We want to have our communities respectable. People ride by. So we had those black people didn't have a lot of money, but they had nice communities. People ride by my community all the time. I live on a busy street, and they'll throw poop diapers out. They'll throw a whole bag of trash out in my yard. And I just wonder sometimes, who would throw all this stuff out in somebody else's yard? Because it's such a lack of respect. But we're not going to be people of non-respect. If you're not a respectable person, I challenge you today, become one. And if you are a respectable person, don't let this generation squeeze that out of you. Stay firm. Be respectable. Because if they grow up, they'll have memories just like I did. They'll be able to see. They'll be able to see all those people that were respectable. What it was, they just didn't respect them. They'll have somebody that they could respect. They'll have somebody they can grow to be. And if you're a man of God, you have or a woman of God, you have or if you're any of those people that was respected, teachers, preachers, business owners, you have a responsibility. You have a responsibility to live a life that is respectable. So my challenge is, if we're already respectable, let's continue. If we're not, let's be respectable. Aretha Franklin said RESPECT. That's not something that someone else gives. That is something that you become. Hope you learned something today. Hope I inspired you to become or to remain respectable in your community among all the chaos. And I want you to go out and live your best life. And your best life, it begins with Jesus. I'm Marcus V. Brown. See you next time.